Welcome back, everyone, to another Broker to Broker podcast. I'm your host, Marc Summers, founding president of AIME. I already got yelled at pre-show by this lovely individual here for the light in the background. Most people listen anyways. They don't want to see my face. But today, very exciting episode. I consider this person a friend. If you've met her, you know she's an amazing person. She's doing amazing things. Enough about that, but let's welcome Brianna Harris, broker, owner, and loan officer for Broadway Mortgage Group. And I call her Bree. So this entire episode, you're going to hear Bree. So Bree, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
All right, let's get started here. So Bree, I'm going to let you bring this up here, but tell us about your little journey. Tell us about the history of yourself and how you got into this industry.
Yeah. So, my journey starts with AIME. So I feel when I became a loan officer, it felt a little bit more of a sentimental decision because I started with AIME in 2018. I was the social media manager and then went on to really run Brokers Are Better and help start Women's Mortgage Network. So that was my getting to know everybody in the industry, seeing what people were doing, what was working, what wasn't working, and where my passion really just started, where my roots were planted there. From AIME, I was there for about 2 years, and then I went on to work at Arrive. Really when Arrive was just restarting. So I was super hands-on with Harish and helping the team just get going. We had so much growth in that first year of me being there, and I loved it. And then finally, my best friend, Skylar Welch, was like, hey, go get your license. It's time for you to now try to be a loan officer. If you hate it, that's fine. You go back to doing what you were doing, but you might love it. And I love it. So Broadway's been around for about 2 years now, and it's been amazing. It's the craziest thing I've ever done. Being a loan officer is wild, but I'm addicted and best decision I've ever made.
Yeah, no, Bree, you did a phenomenal job for us. I was sad to see you go, but obviously into bigger, better things. What was your biggest oh crap moment? Like you had everyone who gets their license is a little bit scared, right?
Yeah.
So walk me through that. How was that?
It was terrifying, especially because I got my license and started Broadway when I was 9 months pregnant. So I was in my hospital bed in labor, trying to answer emails, get in front of agents. I think because I started at AIME, because I had such a strong connection to so many loan officers, there was a piece of me that had these really high, sometimes unreasonable expectations for myself. I wanted to deliver. I've seen all these people do amazing things, and now it's my turn. And there's nothing that's going to stop me. I'm at the table. Let's freaking do it. I'm very much all in, or why am I doing it at all? So I was I was terrified that I wasn't going to have any success. When I got licensed 2023, the very beginning, it was very different than what I had been told during COVID, where everybody was like, "Oh, go get licensed. This and this is going on." I went to brand new baby. He went everywhere with me. We did 3 networking events a week. I was getting in front of every single agent I possibly could, just doing everything, spreading my name out there as much as humanly possible. And I was just really afraid of failing, of not getting anything from. I had people tell me how much they were making a month as a loan officer, and I wasn't making that. Everything
Right.
I did make, I put right back into marketing to put myself and my business out there. But 2024 came, and all of my hard work and everything I put into it, I finally saw that return start to come in. So, yeah.
I got a question for you because like a lot of people go through this journey and they kind of want to reinvent themselves. You obviously right out the gate, like in your head, how are you going to go get business? Obviously your social media. Were you relying on social media more? Were you going after realtors? Like, what was your way of going to grab business?
So I definitely marketing forefront of everything. So social media, I had during my downtime of like me with my son, business was slow. I made sure my foundation was solid. So my social media was all in place. My branding was exactly like where it needed to be. I was on Google. All of my boxes were checked there. And then I knew the importance of community. So I leaned really, really heavy in community. 3 networking events a week. They didn't have to just be business networking, but just anything. There is a ton of stuff in Nashville. So I went to as many things as I possibly could, had one-on-ones with different business owners to where, can I lean into this? How can, playing the long game, how can this relationship help me get here? But everything that I do in my business has a long game aspect to it, even down to my office. I opened my office October of 2024, and every single room is a different theme to make agents want to come in and take photos in my office.
Okay.
I have desks set up everywhere. I think I have agents working from my office more than I have my actual team working from my office. I have interactive murals. So we have every single closing is at the office, and buyers take photos in our murals. They have an amazing time. I've just created an experience during every single thing that I do. I think it makes agents want to work with me because they want to be a part of that experience. They want their buyers to have into that experience. So getting started, that was my thing. Create a name for myself, create an experience, get in front of as many people as I can, and just hope I catch off like wildfire.
No, well, you have. Well, 100% you have. So, with that being said, I hope, and I know you leaned on the community of AIME, which is my favorite thing about
Yeah.
AIME. I don't care what anyone says. That's my thing right there is the community. But were there any moments or mentors that helped you along the way that you go, wow, I couldn't have done it without this person?
Oh, 100%. Skylar Welch being probably the numero uno. She's one of my best friends, but her and I, we don't work for the same companies. We're not in the same market, but we have monthly brainstorming where we're like, hey, I want to do something new. I want to get in front of people. We both love to do things that are outside of the box. So yeah, we just brainstorm together. I also, for my team, have once a month broker calls where I've had Matt Oliver, a couple different just killer producers, get to know my team. My team can ask them questions about different things they've done to be successful. So I've kind of used some of the things that I did at AIME for the entire community, and now just bring it in for my team so it can be a little bit more intimate. But what are other people doing? Do we want to use some of those tips and tricks? Is there things we can just take from it, or do we want to avoid what they're doing because it just doesn't really fit our model? So yeah, that's been huge. And then I even just leaning on like Angela Kaysen is huge on just being like, hey, is this normal for an agent to ask? Are you dealing with this? To just venting. I think everybody needs a good agent vent every once in a while. So having those good resources within the community has been huge to just lean on for support and everything under the sun.
Perfect. Okay, so now let's say you get a client. Okay, like what's your signature approach to guiding a client along, especially first-time home buyers? Because what I've learned over 20 plus years of doing this. God, I sound old, but what I've learned is you have the people that don't care. You know what I mean? Just tell me my payment, what I got to bring, and you're fine. And you got these other people, rightfully so, that are like, I need to know everything that's going on. So, what's your approach to guiding clients along?
So I love a first-time home buyer, and again, it's all about that experience and making them feel really comfortable taken care of. Where I'm at, I have to constantly deal with competition. I'm sure everybody really does. So what can I do to stand out? The minute somebody fills out an application, they get a text from me just introducing myself. I then email them a first-time home buyer book. That's a PDF that I created. When I say book, it's probably about 10 pages, but it
Mhm.
just goes over everything they need to know about FHA loans, conventional, VA, all of the things, most commonly asked questions, the mortgage process, and it just really breaks it down. So for somebody who's very, very nervous but wants to be educated, huge. I also have a page to where I have the realtor's information in there also, and the realtor is on that email. So again, realtors are like, this is great. I love this. Thank you. In the very back of this book are blank pages that have a rating system for the houses they go to look at once they're pre-approved.
Oh,
Because I want people to print that out and take it with them. Because now, again, like I'm a resource, I'm in front of them, all of that. And then once they get started, they have video milestones that I send out. So the minute that they're under contract, they get a video of me throwing confetti and letting them know what this means, what's next, when it's time to order homeowners insurance, when the appraisal goes out, literally everything. I never ever want somebody to say, and they still do, but I want to try to avoid somebody being like, I just don't know what's going on, or how is everything going? I'm already in front of it. to a point where I just hired somebody that sends out emails on Mondays and Fridays to agents and buyers just to let them know, like, hey, everything's going great. This is what we're working on. This is what we need. And I just want constant contact, constant experience. Everybody's having a great time.
So what you're doing with that, I mean, and it's probably a dumb question, but you're building trust. So my next question was gonna be like, how do you build trust? But you kind of just went over that.
Yeah, and it's honestly saved me. It's gotten me clients who I know are shopping, and they're shopping with other really great loan officers who are going to treat them really well. But these little things that I do just make them feel a little bit more safe with me, and like they know me, and now they want to work with me.
Right. No, absolutely. That's what it's about. It's creating that personal experience, not just a paper pusher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, well, so I know you're in a very, very competitive area. And let's just be honest here, we're all kind of very in competitive areas. But like, what's one strategy you use to like stand out?
I would say being very authentic. I make it a very big point to talk to people like they're people and not like we are a machine that's just trying to get them through the system. Um, so it's myself and my other loan officer, Kenzie and Dennis. And we all approach every conversation on one, we kind of try to target what that person's personality is like, and we write it in our notes, right? When we speak to them, what's the best way? Do they love to text? Do they love to talk? And then we talk to them like normal people. We get to know them. We ask them if they have kids. Do you have dogs? Oh my gosh. We tell them about our lives. My biggest goal is I want everybody to feel like they're a part of our family, because that's how you're going to get that referral business. That's how you're going to get that trust. And that's how you're going to make that experience amazing. So I think it's so easy to get into the grind of just loan after loan after loan, and you get busy and you get cranky or whatever, and you forget to just meet people where they are and really treat them like human beings.
So if you create this trust with them, this is a question that, I've asked many times to people, and some people go, I don't do it. And I think it's kind of mind blowing, but how do you ask for referrals from them?
One is I use this system I think it's called Reel on my phone, and it does mass texts out. So I stay in front of them all of the time, and I never directly ask anybody for a referral, but by staying in front of them, I tell them, hey, if you need anything for your house, let me know. I run a local networking group for a bunch of business owners. So when it comes to mechanics, people do roofs, anything, I have a giant referral list, and I try and just strengthen that relationship through other businesses, through staying in front of them. But I text them for, of course, holidays, birthdays, all of that kind of stuff. But then just also to say like, hey, we're going through a heat wave this week, or hey, we have a really big flood coming. Make sure you check your crawl space. Make sure you do this, you do this. If you need somebody, if you notice something is going on with your house, please let me know, and I'll connect you with my contact. So any way that I can continue to look out for my borrowers from the very beginning through years of them being in their home is what my main goal is. And this app that I use, it does mass texts. So it takes me one message and it sends it out to all of my people.
Really? What's it called?
I believe it's called Real, REAL.
So every time you basically close a deal, you just kind of throw them in there. They're in your database and Real, and then whatever's going on within your community, you just let them know.
Exactly. It's called Reach, REACH. So, and you can do all of your templates in there. So it can be pre-done. So you have your holidays, your whatever, and then you can have buckets of contact lists for people. So your agents, your buyers, people you want to get in front of, you just click one button and it sends it to all of them. So it takes zero time. You can do it from your bed. And now you've reached out to everybody in just one swipe.
I learn something new every day.
All
right. So I'm gonna have to look that one up. Reach, everyone, it's Reach. So okay, adversely, I mean, we've all had deals that have come to us that fell apart, or you have a deal that is falling apart. How do you handle that? And do you have like a story that's like, oh, I saved this one by doing this?
Yeah, I feel like a lot lately. It's been crazy. But I think that the thing that has helped me the most when things go a little bit off the rails is, again, that relationship that I've already started. I make it a very big point to I call every single listing agent. I have those weekly emails that go out to them. I start that relationship so that if something bad does happen, or if, hey, we need to pivot, we need to push back closing, They talk to me nearly every single week. They feel like they know me, so that when I have to deliver certain news, they know that I'm working as hard as I possibly can. It's not me just giving up, throwing in the towel. So that has been a huge help. And my agents, I'm very big on having a small group of agents. I have probably about 6 that are my tried and true. I help them with their business, and in turn, they're wildly loyal to me. And they know that I'm going to do everything in my power to make this loan close, to protect their borrowers. So when things do go off the rails, they trust that I'm going to figure out a way to put this back together. Or if it just doesn't work, then hey, there's nothing I can do about this borrower's financial decisions from the past. I've done everything I possibly can. And then a story about lately. So we had one very recently. 19-year-old. If you follow me on social, you saw the video. We did close them, thank goodness. She was 19, no rental history, has been living with mom, had $18 in her bank account, and has about 6 different jobs in the past year. So it was just one thing popping up after another, and some things that we didn't catch initially, some things that just got a little hairy, and she was 19. So anything I tried to talk to her about, she would start hysterically crying. So it made the whole thing very, very hard. And then her agent did get very upset because we had to push closing back just one day, because we had them in a down payment assistance program. Couldn't do it. Had to switch to an FHA. She had to come up with the down payment. We figured it all out. But it was a delicate situation because she was just very fragile. She young. Sure. Had hopes up. Everybody wants to get into a home without paying any money, and she was in the same thing. But we figured it out, and we made the best of it. We used those difficult situations that we ran into, and we made videos for social media. We figured out ways that we can get in front of renters who are just looking to rent for the first time. Can you buy? And here's kind of what things we need to go through. And then for my team, it was a really great learning lesson on things that we need to be a little bit more diligent about in the application process. But yeah, it was interesting. And we had one other really good one. This was the first loan that did not close. I've had knock on wood, only 2 loans that have not closed. But this one was weird stuff coming out left and right. And my LOA the whole time was like, something's fishy, something's weird. This isn't making any sense. And then at the end, we find out that income was being like cash gifted. Like it was just a total mess. And then the poor guy got arrested 2 weeks later for selling marijuana out of his gas station. So
no way.
So it was all but just crazy stuff. So
yeah, those happens though. I mean, that stuff happens, and you do your best to figure it out. And what I've learned during all of that, like when you have a deal kind of going sideways, is just to actually have more contact with them. You know what I mean? Because they don't know how to take it, even though this is natural for us. They're sitting there worrying about it 24/7. You know what I mean? And in those situations, I just over communicate with them like crazy.
And you got to follow up with text, email. You have to have it in writing. That's something I've learned hardcore, because that borrower will go to the agent and say one thing, accuse you of saying something. It's so good to just be like, hey, just again, these are the issues that we are currently working through. This is what our timeline is looking like. This is what could happen. Just have it all in writing so that you can refer back to it, so that you're now anything to avoid you being the bad guy, because we are so easy to get the blame of everything and be the bad guy.
Oh yeah, realtors will throw us under the bus in a heartbeat.
100%. Blows my mind.
All right, so let's talk about Broadway here a little bit, okay? Yeah. The Broadway Mortgage Group. Tell us a little bit about like your setup. What's your differentiator when it comes to different lenders, different brokerages, and how do you guys streamline the loan process? Like, walk us through that.
Yeah, so Broadway is really just my creativity, just getting out there full force. I'm really big on not necessarily like watching what other loan officers are doing, but just going off of whatever idea pops into my mind and putting it into mortgages to make it more fun. But we have our team right now. I have two LOs, Dennis and Kenzie, and they're amazing. Kenzie just joined us this year. She was my go-to insurance broker, and she had the office with me. She rented one of my spaces. and I would listen to her on the phone with borrowers, and she did such an amazing job at just, everybody loved her. The minute you talk to her, you feel like you've known her forever. And it took me about a year of coaxing her to get her to finally get her license, and she's loved it. And she's been really working as my right hand. I just had a baby last Thursday. So
Congrats. I knew that, by the way.
thank
Congrats.
you, thank you. So she's been literally on my couch downstairs, manning calls with me. It's really hard to find somebody that you're completely comfortable with getting on the phone with your borrowers and talking to them in the same way that you would, and knowing that she's just going to take care of them in the same aspect as me. So she's been amazing. Dennis came to me from a local bank, and he's the mortgage cowboy. So he has a really fun time marketing himself like that. He's big in the community. So everybody on the team is so much alike and different at the same time. There's nobody who is like, who has a bad attitude. We all love hanging out with each other. When you step into the office, we have this huge mural, this huge wall just covered in photos from closings, from events we put on. Culture is humongous, but our culture is not just an internal culture. Our culture is our community, local businesses, our borrowers, our realtors. Like when you work with Broadway, you are a part of Broadway. I think so. What I see is so many of these brokerages, they might have that culture, but it's so internal. They forget that what makes us whole is all the other people that we work with, title companies, all of it. So we're huge with that. We also have an amazing LOA, Megan. She works out of Utah. She just started with us about a couple weeks ago and has been killing it. She also does processing for us. And then we have Donna, and she is our relationships manager. And she is the one who is helping me take some of those phone calls and emails away. So she does all of our check-in emails twice a week when people have questions, trying to revert her back there. So she just really tries to help me have some more time in my day. And again, make sure people are constantly being reached out to. The minute somebody was under contract, she has an email that goes out to everybody, congratulating them, making sure they know who to go to for questions, all of that kind of stuff. So, and it really helps. We also are a DBA through Arbor, who is a company out of California.
Yep.
And they've been amazing. So they've give us that closing department, the back end support that we really need, and they allow us to be a full DBA. You would never even know that we were a part of them. It's not on you really don't see anything of theirs, and that's what they want. They want you to have, this is yours, you run with it. We are here to provide support. We're here to make sure you have the tech that you need, everything like that. So it's been the best of both worlds.
That's awesome. No, I'm so happy for you. When I found out you were getting into the mortgage game, not just the AIME side of it, I was like, oh, she's going to crush it. Just don't come to my town. You know what I mean? So no, but I knew you were going to do great. But when I say that, you made the jump, and we do have a lot of people listening that do not have their license or are currently with a bank. But what's your number one piece of advice to loan officers out there right now with where our industry stands? You know what I mean? Because our industry rates are all over the map. Everyone's hoping they drop, but let's just be honest here. They're not right now. You know what I mean? And I'm going to continue to say they're not, because I'd rather prepare myself this way. And if they do drop, great. That's gravy for me. But like, what's your one piece of advice to loan officers out there listening right now of the current state of our industry and what they should be doing to better themselves?
Yeah, I would say to just you have to dive right in. You have to dive right in with both feet. You're going to have those ups and downs of your emotions, of questioning if this was the right decision. I constantly had that. But it's so worth it. And you have to know that consistency pays off. This is not a instant gratification business. This is you're about to get in here. And if you want to do well, you've got to work really, really hard, and to know that it is going to pay off, but you cannot give up. And the minute that what I constantly had in my mind, my first year starting, that pushed me through being absolutely exhausted. I'm a brand new mom. I have a brand new business. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. But I constantly told myself was, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to. It can be done. So figure it out and just go seize it. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're going to. I've made so many. I wanted to not make any mistakes. And I think that comes from my background. And because you work in other industries, You don't really need those mistakes don't happen as often as with loans. There's so much they're so complex. There's so many things that can go on. You need to give yourself so much grace. Learn from everything. Every mistake you make should go back into your business as a way to better your business in the long run. It's not just an internal correcting yourself. It's a way of like, okay, hey, I just had this borrower tell me that they felt that I didn't communicate, or they felt that they were lost throughout the experience. How can I tweak this one thing for this one borrower? Because I know other people are probably going to go through that and feel the same thing. And I never want anybody to feel that. So it can be from big as loan scenarios to as small as those communication touch points, but regardless, it all affects your business. So my biggest piece of advice is you've got to take the fear away and dive in, and know if you don't dive in with both feet, you're going to always wonder what would have happened if you did, or who else is out there doing all of these things that you know you're capable of doing.
Yep. I always look at it as a couple things here. Number one is we're just under 30% of the market, right? Brokers are. There's 70% other business out there that I can go grab. You know what I mean? That's what I always think about, you know, and I'm like, okay, that's 70%. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of people out there. Right. So I always think about that. And then the funny thing about it is, you know, we always remember the loans that didn't close or that didn't go right, because you said it yourself. And I'm going to bet you here, you had 2 loans that didn't close, but you probably can't tell me how many loans you have closed.
No.
See that, and that's the beautiful thing about it. You know what I mean? But you know, you got to take those times. There's people that are listening. You're gonna have loans that don't close. Like it's inevitable. And if you don't, good for you. But then that's when you learn from it. You know what I mean? And that's when you put it into your process. And that's, you know, I mean, you said it too. You know, like, okay, client said you didn't communicate as well. Okay, how can I communicate better?
Yeah. 100%. And no, and if things don't make you, there's going to be so many things in this industry that don't make you happy. And guess what? You don't have to do them. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to work with every agent. As I constantly remind myself, whenever an agent gives me a hard time, I put their name on this really nice spreadsheet that I have, and we don't work with them again. There's too many agents out there. There's too many opportunities out there for you to be miserable. I love my job so much. Do I take on some really tough loans way more often than I should? 100%. But I really love watching people get into a home that don't think that they can. So it's worth all the headache and things like that. But I'm also very quick on not working with people who don't bring me joy, who don't value me, who don't see that I would say the biggest thing that really gets under my skin is when somebody questions my work ethic or how much I care about every single person I work with. So I choose not to work with those people who can't see that.
And that's okay. I want everyone to know that that's okay. There's a heavy hitter realtor in my area. I'm not going to name names, but I sat down with her one time and talked to her, and I'm like, I'm not working with you. Like I just won't. Like it's too much.
Yeah. There's no amount of money that makes it worth it. We make more than enough money working with great people. And there's so many great people out there that we can meet and get in front of. I don't want to work with those people. Even if it's a realtor who's constantly bringing in stuff, I'm good. I'll go find 2 other people who are wonderful.
Yep. All right, Bree, I got one more question for you, then I'll let you go. I mean, I can't believe you're doing this. I mean, you just had a baby last week, but you know, that's you. You just push forward.
He's like, please take maternity leave. I'm like, well, I'm at home, so I'm going to call that maternity leave. It's fine.
But that's you, and that's what I love about you. But I want to talk to you. Like, it's probably not just one question. There's a lot there, but you know, obviously, AIME's coming to your hometown here. You know, in October 23rd. I can only assume you're going to be there, correct?
100%. Yep.
Yeah. So with that being said, you know, you got the community coming to your town. You've been on the backside of this community, you know, like working for them, and now you are part of the community. What has AIME or people within our association, you know, within our community, what would you say is the biggest thing that you've taken away that has helped you grow?
I would say that honestly, and this is probably what fueled my passion the most when I worked at AIME, was that feedback of never feeling like you're alone. And that's now being in mortgages, and I work so much all of the time, but I have this incredible ecosystem of people that I can reach out to anytime and ask them questions. I never feel like I'm alone in this. I never feel that there's not somebody out there that would literally stop what they're doing and go through a loan scenario. Amy Dusa, I've called her on VA stuff more than once, and she literally stops what she's doing, goes through the scenario with me and helps me. Jonathan Haddad, the minute that he knows that I take on some crazy stuff and he's like, hey, I know you just had the baby. Please reach out to me if you have anything crazy going on. He literally texted me that the day I was going into labor. Like, that's humongous. And it's not just two people, it's everybody. And even though our community has changed, we've had new people, some people have gotten out of the industry. That's one thing that has stayed very consistent, and that makes me love AIME the most. The training is great, all of those things are great, but the community that we have is what made me love working for AIME and what makes me love now just being a member of AIME.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. I tell people, I go speak at Success Track pretty much every week. And I tell them, and even myself, and I know yourself, you will echo this. Doesn't matter if you have the best broker owner in the world. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna feel alone in this journey. When I say journey, career, right? You're gonna feel alone at some time. You don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I was texting with Rocky Balor earlier this morning, you know, like, and he's just so positive all the time, you know, and kind of puts me in my place. I love him for that. But like, that's what this community does. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be alone. Your broker or your mentor is not going to know everything, but darn it, this whole community can help you.
Yeah. And even if you just need, like, I call Jamie Kavanaugh all the time, and we just have like girl talk. We just, what's going on new in your life, having that person who's also in our industry, it's a different conversation. I can't go to my friend and talk to them about mortgages because they're, but I call Jamie and we can just feel better after a phone conversation. And yeah, it's amazing. The community is incredible. And I love that I was introduced to AIME and that this is where it's taken my life.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Well, Bree, hey, listen, I've taken up enough of your time. Go enjoy that new baby. Once again, thank you for everything that you did with AIME. Thank you everything that you're doing now. I know, you know, like, I saw you at Fuse last year. You're just always like a ray of sunshine, you know, like always smiling. Like, if you're watching this, she's always smiling. So, and I know I can say this on your behalf. If you ever need anything, just reach out to Bree. Reach out to me. It doesn't matter.
Please. 100%.
Yeah.
And thank you for everything you've done. I've loved that I've known you for, feels like forever. Amazing.
AIME's weird. It's like a time warp. I'm like, oh my God, we've been doing this 7 years, but then it also feels like I've been doing it 25 years. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. So, but once again, Bree, thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate your time.
Of course. Thank you.